What's going on, everyone? So, the Phoenix Suns are an absolute dumpster fire. They already fired their coach. They're already starting to clean house. They're probably going to trade Kevin Durant. They're going to try to trade Bradley Beal. We'll see how that works. I don't know what they were thinking personally. As soon as they traded for Bradley Beal, I immediately was like, there goes any chance of them ever winning a championship. Right? Again, it's on film. Right? A lot of people were like, oh, who's going to stop them? This is the best big three in the league. And I was like, what are we talking about here? Right? Like, again, we have seen, I'm a Laker fan, right? And as a Laker fan, I have a very extensive history of the Lakers putting together super teams that some have gone great, won championships. Some have been total disasters. So I'm very versed in you can't just throw names on the back of the jerseys and put them together and assume that they're going to win a championship. It doesn't work that way. Team has to fit and make sense. Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker are the same player, essentially, at different scales, different levels, but they're the same player. Bradley Beal and Devin Booker are literally the same player. Devin Booker's just better. Neither guy, their biggest issue is Bradley Beal and Devin Booker, right? They both want to do the same things. They are best when they are allowed to do the same things. Neither is really big enough to play the three properly, and neither is skilled enough as a playmaker to play the point properly. So you have this like awkward imbalance that just doesn't make sense. And I don't see a path to get out of it. Right? I thought the formula for the Phoenix Suns after they got Kevin Durant to win an NBA championship was incredibly simple. I was like, oh wow, this just go get a legit, rebounding, shot blocking center that can be a lob threat as an outlet post guy. You don't need this, skilled big man that can do all this stuff around the rim no, like you just needed a Nick Richards was perfect. If they could have gotten somebody like that or a Daniel Gafford or something, they would have been great. If you wanted to get rid of Chris Paul, fine. Go get a 3-and-D, like somebody like Gabe Vincent. Speaking of the Lakers, somebody like Gabe Vincent would have been great. Guy that could slot in, play off ball, bring the ball up, initiate the offense, kick it to thinking about the Lakers, kick it to Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, and then he could go play off ball, and do that, right? Chris Dunn is another great example. Like if they could have gotten somebody like that can come in, just be that 3-and-D style guard, right? Go get a, Nick Richards type center and then get a versatile 3-and-D wing. You're probably winning championships, right? Because Kevin Durant and Devin Booker were good enough as an offensive duo to lead you there. You just needed the complementary pieces, but nope, Matt Ishbia, new owner syndrome, came in and thought, no, this is what we're going to do here. And it became a disaster. It's an absolute disaster. They didn't even make the play-in. They couldn't even be a top 10 team with Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker on the roster. That is wild to me. I didn't think they'd be that atrocious. I thought they'd at least be a playoff, at worst, play-in team. But I didn't think they'd be so bad that they were going to miss the play-in entirely. And so now they're going to grasp at straws and they're going to try to trade Kevin Durant, and they're never going to get the return necessary in order to really turn this around. They're probably not going to be able to trade Bradley Beal. And even if they do find a way to trade Bradley Beal, they're not getting anything of value for Bradley Beal. So there goes that. I've said the only path I see to them getting out of purgatory and getting back into at least being a good playoff team, maybe contender depending on how things shape up, is you trade Devin Booker. And every time I even present the idea, Phoenix Suns fans are like, absolutely not, Devin Booker's Mr. Sun. And I've literally had Phoenix fans be like, I'd rather be terrible and keep Devin Booker than try to win. Okay. Some people might feel that way. But as somebody that is not a Phoenix fan, that is not looking at this from a biased perspective, the only path is to trade Devin Booker. Why? Because he's the only guy that's going to yield the return and pieces necessary for you to potentially build a real balanced complementary roster, right? Whether it's multiple trades, like you trade Devin Booker, you get a piece or two plus a bunch of draft picks, and now you're taking those picks and then going and trading for that other piece or two to kind of complete the puzzle. And you're praying and hoping that Bradley Beal at the 2 and Kevin Durant at the 3 can be enough of your offensive firepower where Bradley Beal is no longer that redundancy, right? Bradley Beal is no longer that player that is just the odd man out. So your hope is that he can get back to being that 23, 5-5 guy. Kevin Durant continues to be a 27, whatever he is, 8-6 guy or whatever, right? You're hoping that those two can be that. You go get a legit 3-and-D style point guard, a real point of attack defensive guy, right? Like, can you, like a Jalen Suggs would be great, right? Can you get a package together where you're getting, some of their defensive pieces, like maybe look to Orlando to trade Devin Booker too, right? Where you can get a bunch of picks, a bunch of young players for now and the future, but like a Jalen Suggs that can just be that point of attack, aggressive, defensive, 3-and-D style guard alongside a Bradley Beal. And then you have Kevin Durant. And then can you get, Jonathan Isaac? Health concerns are concerning, but he is that versatile, just do everything, Swiss Army knife type of forward center that I think would be great. And then Nick Richards, you might actually have a chance, depending on how good Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant can be as a duo. Outside of that, I don't see a path. I don't, because you're not going to get the return. They might get a nice return for Kevin Durant, but it's not going to be a return in the vein that's going to be able to right the ship enough. And then you're still going to be stuck with Bradley Beal. Maybe you can convince Bradley Beal to accept the trade and opt out. But even then, it's just like what are you going to turn? You're not going to turn Bradley Beal into anything worth of value. No one's going to come along and be like, yeah, we'll take on Bradley Beal. His contract is no trade clause. He's been a total disaster for you. You guys made a foolish decision. But don't worry, we're going to bail you out. And, oh yeah, by the way, here's 2 or 3 quality high-end starting rotation guys. Like, it's just not happening. Right? Like, again, as a Laker fan, stranger things happen. Lakers just got Luka, right? But the Suns are not the Lakers. Like, it's just, that the only path to fixing this. You can fire the coach, fire the GM, fire everybody. It's not going to change anything because your 3 stars don't work. There's not a coach that's going to magically fix this to the point of contention. Maybe an Eric Spoelstra or something like that because he's pretty creative. Maybe he could get you to be a playoff team, but you're probably not winning NBA championships with those 3. It doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. I said it the moment it happened. People told me I was crazy and I don't know basketball and, the typical comments when people think that they know something they don't. It's always the people that are like, you don't know basketball, that end up ultimately being proven that they don't know basketball. Again, you cannot just throw names on the back of the jersey. You cannot just take 3 of the same players, put them together. Again, like sticking with the Lakers. Why does LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves, why do they work? Because LeBron is willing and has accepted to play an off-ball role. Luka gets to be the guy. LeBron gets to just kind of pick his spots, but he's also catching the ball. Austin Reeves, same thing. Or catch and shoot, right? Austin Reeves, same thing. Catch and shoot. He gets his moments. He gets to pick his spots. But all 3 guys are playmakers. All 3 guys can make plays and be versatile. And so when 1 or 2 go to the bench, you can have that other guy have the ball in their hand and make the decision. You don't have that with Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker. They are isolation scores. Give them the ball. They'll get you a bucket. But you to ask them to do everything, that's just not their game. Right? Like, again, the pieces have to make sense. The pieces have to fit. The pieces have to work. And those 3 don't work. And the only way out is trading Devin Booker. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Kind of mixed in the middle. How you feel, whatever your thoughts are. Out of the way, let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. If you enjoy these types of videos, truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.